And now we are now moving on for the mean absolute deviation for group data. Okay, on how we calculate the mean absolute deviation for group data only. Okay, this is intended for data. Okay, so ito yung formula na gagamitin natin. Formula for the mean absolute deviation for group data. So that is MAD is equal to the summation multiplied summation of the product of frequency and the absolute value of the difference of the x and the mean all over n. So ito yung formula na gagamitin natin. So para mas maintindihan natin on how we calculate the mean absolute deviation for group data, we are going to follow these steps. Okay? First step, so similar lang din siya kay do saan group data, pero syempre, group data naman yung ititreat nating data. Okay? So, compute the mean of the frequency distribution. Ngayon, frequency, siyempre, for group data, naka-frequency distribution yung mga data natin. Okay? So, number 2, subtract the mean from each of the value in the data set. Get the absolute values of x minus the mean and obtain the product of the absolute value of the difference of x and the mean and the, the frequency. Then add or get the sum. Then solve for the mean absolute deviation using the formula. Okay, let's now proceed to the example number 1. So the data below shows the frequency distribution of the amounts of electricity consumption of a typical household in Batangas City. For the month of January 2016, find the mean absolute deviation. Okay, so ito yung data na gagamitin natin. Naka-frequency distribution na ito. Okay? So, ita-transfer ko lang siya dito. Ayan. Kung saan si amount of electric bill, siya yung class limits natin. Okay? And yung number of families, ito yung frequency natin. Okay? Ayun siya. Okay? So, at the first step, sabi, compute the mean of the frequency distribution. And we discussed this on how we get the mean for group data. Okay? Ito yung gagawin natin. First, we have to find the class mark or the class midpoint. Okay? So, paano compute again si class midpoint? Ganito lang siya. Okay? Compute natin si class midpoint sa ganitong way. First, we have to, yung x natin siya si class mark or the class midpoint. So, 700. Okay. So, compute natin siya ganito. Okay? 700 plus 849, which is ito yung lower class limit and upper class limit. Okay? All over 2. So, pag kinuha natin, if we perform this operation, okay, so 700 plus 849 all over 2, makukuha natin yung mismong midpoint niya. That is 774.5. Okay? So, 774.5. Okay? Ito yung class midpoint item dito sa first row. Okay? So, compute na lang natin. Lagay natin 774.5. Okay? So, same as with the others. Ganyan din. So, compute lang natin 850 minus plus 999 is equal to 1,849 divided by 2, that is 924.5. Okay. 924. Okay. So next, so 1,000 plus 12, 1,149 divided by 2, that is 1,074.5. 1,074.5. Okay. Next, 1,150 plus 1,299, ito yon, divided by 2, that is 1,224.5. 4.5. Okay. So next, the last but not the least, 1,300 plus 1,449 divided by 2 is 1,374.5. Okay, so after we get the class midpoint ng every class, ng lahat ng class limit natin, that is x represented by x. Ngayon, proceed na natin dito si frequency multiplied the class mark, okay, or f multiplied by x. So 2 times 774.5, 2 times 774.5, that is 1,549. Okay, you can double check it. So 9 multiplied by 924.5, that is 8,320 pala, sorry, 0.5. Okay, so 15 times 1,074.5, that is 16,117.5, and 9 multiplied by 1,224.5, that is 11,020.5. Okay, so 5 times 1,374.5, that is 6,872.5. Okay, after we get that, kunin natin summation. Okay, so kuha na natin to. Nasa alam pa lang tayo, ha, computing for the mean. Okay, computing for the mean pa lang tayo, wala pa tayo sa computing the mean absolute deviation for group data. Mean sa pin pa lang tayo, sa step 1. Okay, so 1,549 plus 8,320.5 plus 16,117.5 plus 11,020.5 plus 6,872.5. Okay, we will get 43,880. 43,880. Tama ba? 880. Okay, that is correct. So after that, we can now get the mean for this distribution, for this group data. Sa mean pa lang tayo, ha, sa mean. So let us now substitute formula, yung values natin sa formula, that is 43,880 all over 8. Okay, yung n natin dito, compute natin si frequency. Okay, ilan yung data natin? 2 plus 9 plus 15 plus 9 plus 5, that is 40. Okay, tama ba? 40? Okay, 40. 2 plus 9 plus 15 plus 9 plus 5, that is 40. Okay, yung n natin, that is 40. Now, apply the operation. Just divide 43,000 divided by 40, that is 1,097. Okay, as you can see, wala tayong decimal value na nakuha dito. So, whole number siya kaagad. So, no need to round off na. Okay? You can use now this, our mean, to compute for the mean absolute deviation. Okay? And yung mean natin, 1,097. Okay? So, let us now proceed para makumpleto na natin yung data natin. Okay? So, copy ko lang tong class mark natin, which is magagamit natin siya in computing the mean absolute deviation. Okay? And now yung yung mean natin na nakuha, it's 1,097. 1,097. Okay? Lagay lang natin dito for reference. 1,097. 1,097. 1,097. Okay? So, yan. Sabi sa step 2, subtract the mean from each of the value in the dataset. Okay? So, pag ganun, each of the value of the datasets, isa-subtract natin tong si mean dito sa class mark. Okay? So, 774, bali ganito mangyayari dyan, 774.5 minus 1,097, that is negative 322.5. Okay? Negative 322.5. Okay? So, next, 924.5 minus 1,097, that is negative 172.5. Okay? 1,074.5 minus 1,097, that is negative 22.5. Okay, so 1,224.5 minus 1,097, that is 127.5. Okay, next, 1,374.5 minus 1,097, that is 277.5. Okay, after we get yung difference nila ng class mark at ng mean, now get the absolute value of the difference of the class mark and the mean. Okay, kukunin lang natin yung positive niya. Titik natin yung positive ng number dito. Okay, like this one. Si negative 322.5, kukunin natin yung absolute value na, that is 322.5. Okay? So, 172.5, the absolute value of negative 172.5. And the absolute value of negative 22.5, that is 22.5. 127.5, rewrite lang natin kasi positive na sila. 0.5. Okay. So, yan. Compute na natin yung sa absolute value. And now, the last part or the last column here says that itong si frequency, i-multiply daw natin dito kay yung nakuha nating absolute value dito. Itong frequency multiplied by dito. Okay? So, mangyayari niyan, ganito. So, 2 times 322.5. Okay? Is 645. 645. Okay? So, next. Wala siyang kahirap-hirap. Ang ginagawa lang natin dito, plus, minus, tsaka, multiplied, then divide. Ganun lang kadali si mean absolute deviation and the rest of the measures of variation. Okay? Ang maano lang, maproseso lang talaga siya. Okay? Kaya ingat din sa pag-inputs ng numbers. Kaya minsan baka ma-overlook kayo, in-overlook kayo ng number, magkakamali na kayo ng value sa final answer nyo. So 152.1552. 1552.5. So 15 times 22.5 That is 337.5, 7.5, 9 times, so 9 multiplied by 127.5, 1147.5. Okay, so next last one, 5 times 277.5.5 is 1387.5. Okay, so now we can now compute for the summation. Okay, summation na tayo. Yung nakuha natin value dito, pag-add lang natin siya. Okay, so 645 plus 1552.5 plus 337.5 plus 1147.5 plus 1387.5. So the final or the summation here is 5,070. 5,070. Okay? Ngayon, using this, nakuha na natin yung mismong summation of the product of the frequency and the absolute value of the difference of the x or the class mark and the mean. After pag nakuha na natin yan, we can now substitute to our given formula. Okay? So, sabi dito, yung summation yan daw, substitute lang natin yon yung sa numerator niya na that is 5,070 all over, ano yung n natin kanina? Yung n natin here dito is n is equal to 40. Okay? N is equal to 40. That is 40. Okay? So, apply the operation. So, 5,070 divided by 40, that is 126.75. So, our mean absolute deviation here is 126.75. Tama ba? Yun. So, this is now our final answer for the mean absolute deviation. Okay? 126.75. Okay? That's it. Napakadali lang ng mean absolute deviation for group data. Ang problema lang kasi dito, magkakaroon ka lang ng mahabang proseso sa pag-compute. Okay? Proseso lang talaga siya. Pero, ang ginagawa lang naman natin dito is mag-add ka, magba-minus, and multiply. Okay? So, next example, the example number 2 here. So, the distribution of the weights of 50 college students in a certain university is presented in a table below. So, compute for the mean absolute deviation and describe what does it represent. Okay? So, ito yung data natin. Okay? So, itatransfer natin siya dito. Okay? Sa ganitong duplicate ko lang ha. Duplicate. Okay. Kunin natin is yung mean absolute division o yung MAD. Okay? So, first step, sabi, yung first step natin, compute the mean of the frequency distribution. Okay? Kukompute lang natin yung mean. So, delete ko lang to kasi hindi ito yung gagamitin natin. Okay. Compute yung mean. So, meron tayong 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. Okay, sakto lang siya. Okay, copy lang natin. Yung data dito. Ayan. So, first step, kunin natin yung B ng frequency distribution. Okay, or ng group data. Okay, so first step in getting the mean for group data, alam niya na, kukunin muna natin yung class mark ng each of the class limit. Then, proceed tayo sa f multiplied by x, yung frequency mo multiply natin sa nakuha nating class mark. And then, get the summation all over the number of samples. Okay? So, 49 plus 53, alam niya kung paano pagkuha ng class mark, plus 53, that is equal to 102 divided by 2, that is 51. Okay. 51. Okay. So, 54 plus 58, that is divided by 2, 56. Okay. 59 plus 63 divided by 2, that is 61. 61. So 64 plus 68 divided by 2, that is 66. Okay. 69 plus 73 divided by 2, that is 71. Okay, yun yung last natin. And yung sample natin is n is equal to 50. N is equal to 50. Okay. So now, get the product of the frequency and the class mark. Okay. So 8 times 51, that is 408. 13 times 56, that is 728. 11 times 61, that is 671. 6 times 66, that is 396. 12 times 71, that is 852. And now get the summation for the last column, that is 408 plus 728 plus 671 plus 396 plus 852, that is 3,055 yung summation na nakuha natin. Okay, 3,055. Okay, and now we can now substitute to our formula for getting the mean for a group data. Okay, so 3,055 all over 4, 50 pala, 50. So apply the operation. So divided by 50, that is 61.1. Okay, 61.1 ang nakuha natin. Ngayon, may decimal value siya. Okay, 61.1. Okay, this is for the mean. Okay, sa pagganito, siguro kunin na natin din siguro yung i-round off na rin natin siya. Okay, i-round off na rin natin siya to the nearest into whole number. So gagamitin lang natin is 61. Okay, ito yung gagamitin natin, yung 61, hindi si 61.1. Okay, okay, para whole number na din yung makuha natin. So now, duplicate na lang natin tong isang slide na to. Okay lang, duplicate ko lang siya. Okay. So, kakopy ko lang tong si class mark, itong data dito. And yung 61 na nakuha natin sa min. Okay, 61. 61, 61, 61, 61. Okay? So now, get the difference of the class mark and the mean. Okay? So 51 minus 61, that is negative 10. Okay? 56 minus 61, that is negative 5. So 61 minus 61, that is 0. 66 minus 61, that is 5. So 71 minus 61, that is 10. Okay? And now, let us now proceed for getting the absolute value of this yung nakuha nating difference. So that is 10, 5, 0, 5, 10. Okay. So after that, kukunin lang natin yung product netong sa frequency at saka yung nakuha nating absolute value dito. Okay. So 8 times 10, that is 80. So 5 times 13, or 13 times 5, that is 65. So 0 times 11 times 0, that is 0. Okay. So 5 times 6, or 6 times 5, that is 30. So 12 times 10, that is 120. Okay. After we get the product, now let us proceed now for the summation. Okay. Kukunin lang natin yung total nito. Okay. So 80 plus 65. So pag din natin add yung 0, that is plus 30 plus 120. Okay. So 295. Ang nakuha nating summation. 295. Okay. After we get the summation here, dito sa last column, we can now substitute to our Goulden formula. Okay. Yung formula natin ito. So, ito. 295. Okay. Substitute lang natin dito. Wait lang, delete ko muna to. So, may kulang pa pala dito, that is 50. Yan, yung number of samples natin. So 295 all over 50, ay, 295 all over 50. So apply the operation here, divided by 50, we will get 5.9. 5.9. Okay. So our mean absolute deviation now is 5.9. So this is now our final answer.